Hello and welcome to the Cold Coffee Club, a podcast brought to you by Houston Moms. We're here to give you a little bit of that mom-to-mom connection, fun, and conversation amidst all the chaos. Join us as we take a break from doing all the things and explore the wide spectrum of this crazy motherhood role. We'll interview fun guests, talk about cool grown-up topics, laugh, share, and grow together. So go ahead, reheat that coffee, and put your feet up. Here we go.
Good morning. Welcome to the Cold Coffee Club. I'm Ashley and my co-host is Jenny.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Cold Coffee Club, everybody.
Yes, so for those of you newbies who are joining the club for the first time, I am project coordinator for Houston Moms. And Jenny, tell us what you do for us.
Hi, I am the, I forgot my title for a second. Hi. I need to microwave my coffee. Hello. I am the social media director.
That was too perfect. I love it.
I don't know. What am I doing here?
I'm just here.
You just give me a microphone and I start talking. Sorry. I am the social media director for Houston Moms.
She's brilliant at it. She doesn't know her title because she's just so in it.
I'm just really involved and
yes.
They give me lots of passwords to things, which is really smart of them to do. But, clearly I need to bring my coffee mug back to the microwave and start it again. Welcome, everybody.
Oh, gosh, I can't. Okay.
Keep going.
Yes. Okay. So what we love to do first and foremost is spill the tea. So,
this is my fail for the week. No.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. But for real, we always talk about like our wins and fails for the week. And mine is like a combined fail win thing.
Yeah.
So this weekend I have this closet upstairs. It's like a closet that is one of these closets that like everything goes to die. It's like I don't know what to do with this. You don't really want to throw it away, but I don't have anywhere to put it right now. Let's just put it in that closet. And it's just things that like either my kids have grown out of, or I don't want to hang this on the wall anymore, or, it's just, and it was beginning to get overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so this weekend I thought I'm going to go through that closet. And we were purging and going through stuff. And a lot of it, I was like, I can sell some of this. So, I could probably make some money. So I started listing things on Facebook Marketplace. Well, then I realized that a friend of mine is doing this huge fundraising event for a family that is a friend of hers. And there's pictures of everything. Their house caught on fire and they lost everything. They have nothing. And they're raising money and they're collecting household items for this family. And so, and it's like, they need everything, like they need bedding and they have literally nothing. And so, and we have like an old computer in this closet and like just all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, here I am thinking like, I'm going to make $500 off of all this stuff. And then I have to go to my husband and be like, I'm going to give it all away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, okay, which he was fine with, but at the end of it, it's like these people need things and we haven't used this bedding in 5 years and we're going to give it to people that need bedding and need things to hang on a wall and need household items. And so it's not a fail, but it was like, obviously I haven't touched this. I don't need to make a profit on it. It's going to be okay. So it's okay. Long run, but my disorganization is now going to bless somebody else, and I'm thankful that we can give to others. So it's always good to kind of keep your eye out. So I had to go delete like all of my things off of Facebook Marketplace. We're like, is this still available? No,
just kidding. That's awesome though. That's really exciting that you got to help someone like that, and I'm sure they were super grateful. So. Yeah. Kudos to you.
Oh,
So I don't have a fail this week. I'm being positive.
Yay!
So not only is my coffee warm today, I got to enjoy it super hot, and I was just like,
you know what you're doing, what you do for a living, like you're just
I do know. I'm just crushing it today. But also, I discovered this weekend that I can still do a cartwheel. And for some reason, that was just super exciting to me. I did it.
So impressed right now.
I was like, we were out and there was grass and I saw a bunch of kids doing cartwheels and I was like, I wonder if I can still do a cartwheel. And I did it and I'm not hurt.
I am amazed.
Yeah. I'm just like happy about life. I'm like, I thought that was gone.
No, we have a trampoline in the backyard and I got on it the other day and my husband got on it and he started like going a little like, let's go. And he started like trying to, where you like double bounce somebody where you like, get right in the middle. And he was trying to get me to go really high. And I was like, please, I'm going to sprain my ankle, please.
Yes.
Please.
Stuff is dangerous.
He was like, you're not fun. I'm like, I don't want to sprain my ankle. You know, I'm going to sprain my ankle. Please.
It's not a matter of fun. It's, do we want to, you mentioned next level urgent care.
Exactly.
Do we want to go?
Like, do you want to like take over all of my household duties for the next 6 weeks? That I have.
Exactly. Exactly. So this episode, we are so excited to dig into the craze that has just made our lives so enjoyable. We are talking about Wordle today.
Yay, Wordle.
It's so much fun. I'm like, I get frustrated if I get busy with the day and I forgot to play. It mostly happens on weekends, but it's like I forgot to play and I'm like, I just missed a whole word. Like it's gone now forever.
Never play it again.
Yep. Yeah.
So I love also the genesis of Wordle, which was started by a man named James Wardle. W-A-R-D-L-E. He's Welsh. He's from Wales. And James Wardle is a software engineer who created this game for his wife to play, which I think is just precious. Adorable. He knew she loved word games and he's like, I am a software engineer. I can make a game for her. Yeah, darling. And then he shared it with the rest of the world. And then the New York Times bought it, as they do.
Yes, they do.
And so now we all play it every night or day, whenever. And it's really fascinating. One thing I love about Wordle is that like there's like this collective understanding amongst society that we don't tell each other the Wordle word.
Yes.
Like no one tells each other. And I just think that like that's really like we all honor the code.
Yes.
It's fascinating. No one's going to talk about it.
Yep.
I think it's really cool.
Yes, I love it. So what are your Wordle strategies and when do you play Wordle? What is your
I could talk about this for a long time, but I'm not going to. So I am kind of a night owl, so I stay up late. If I'm up at 11:30, I will most likely stay awake to play Wordle at midnight because it rolls over at midnight. Yes. And I'm like, well, I'm already up because I get excited. So I like to start. I will like have the same starter word for like 3 weeks. And then after 3 weeks, I move on. I have had for a long time, my starter word was the word, irate. I moved on to the word youth because you get the Y and the O and the U, and then T and H are very popular.
Yeah.
Cheat has been one of mine, and then like audio, ratio.
Yeah.
So I've moved around a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always like a lot of vowels, and I do like an H in there because I feel like a lot of times the Wordle people love to give us like an SH or a CH.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yep.
So that's where I kind of go. What about you? Do you do the same one every time or do you rotate?
I rotate. Cheat was my word for a little while. Reach is kind of a go-to. And sometimes I'll just, if reach or the word point aren't getting me enough, I'll use them back to back just to get a bunch more information.
Right.
So yeah, those are my go-to words. And I tend to play first thing in the morning, but I have better luck when I stay up, 10, 11 o'clock at night and the kids have gone to bed and the day is over. For some reason, my brain is like, you can do it now. And I've gotten it in 2 shots a couple times. I've never got it on the first try. Have you ever gotten it on the first try?
No, I think I've gotten it in 2.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever gotten it in 1.
Yeah. Okay.
But let me tell you though, what I think about getting it in the first try. Getting in the first try, to me, isn't that impressive because that just means you guessed a word.
Right. Exactly. It's not like there's a clue or something.
Right. That just means like you just guessed a word that was just like, oh, ta-da. But I feel like if you get it in 2 or 3, that means that you used your powers of like word structure to be like, oh, that means that it ends in an ed or an e, or like, to me, I'm like, that's more impressive.
Right.
That's my thoughts on it.
That's very true.
I think that like what drives me nuts is like, especially if it's like SHA blank E.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh.
Because that can be like 15 different words.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's just process of elimination. And you're like, well, I don't know how this is going to end up because there's no way to know other than just eliminating them. And you'll get down to that 6th word and there's 4 different options that it can be.
I have almost thrown my phone because of that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I think that happened once where I had broke my longest streak, which was like 52 words in a row. And I'm like, well, my day's ruined and, just forget it. I'm done for, I really had like about like 2 hours of a pity party. Like, I broke my Wordle streak.
This is it, guys.
Forget it.
I quit. All the things. I quit. I do love that Wordle only lets you do it 1 word a day because I swear I would go down this rabbit hole and I would be gone forever. So
I believe, and I really do believe this, that the reason that this like collective addiction we all have has stuck around for as long as it has is because we only play 1 game a day.
Yeah.
I think if it was a game you could play all day long, I think people would have moved on.
Yeah. Oh, you get so bored.
Because it's just 1 game. I think that we can all like stick around with it.
Yep. And you've got 1 shot. So it's fun.
Now, and what some of us are doing because we're crazy people is we have moved on to variations of Wordle. So my variations of Wordle that I play 3 main variations of Wordle. I play Quordle, Quordle. And Quordle is where you're playing 4 different Wordle games at once. It is very hard. And that one I have to play in the morning most of the time because I'm too tired and it's very difficult.
Yeah.
It took a while for me to understand. I also play Hurdle, Heardle.
I love Hurdle.
Hurdle is where they're like, here's a second and a half of a song. Do you know what song it is? No, I don't know yet. Skip ahead. Now here's 2 seconds of a song. Do you know what song it is? And you keep playing until you know the song. Or not.
Yeah.
The only thing that's weird about that one versus Wordle is sometimes if you just never heard the song before, you're just not going to know it.
Yeah. There are some songs I'm like, I don't, what is this? It's like some like, I don't know, Daft Punk or something. I'm like, I don't know this song.
And the first second will be like,
It's like, that was a sound. What was that? Like, did my phone do something or was that the song?
Yeah. You're like, or like, it'll be like some weird recording of like it where the band, the beginning of the song, like coughs. And so you're like, and you're supposed to know that you're
like
that's
which
the Rolling
song do they cough?
Yeah. You're like,
yesterday's, I think yesterday's was like, I think it was yesterday. My favorite song growing up, it was that Walking on Broken Glass by Annie Lennox. Oh my gosh. I used to be obsessed with that song when I was 5. And so like that minute and a half or that second and a half, I was like, got it.
Yeah, I know. There's a few I've gotten in the first one. Yeah. And then I play this one. I'm like, y'all couldn't have come up with something that goes with the theme of like Wordle, Hurdle, whatever. This one is just called Framed.
Yeah.
And Framed is where they show you like a frame from a movie and you have to try to guess what that is from. And then if you don't know it, they show you another frame and blah, blah, blah until you guess the movie.
Yeah.
So what variations do you play?
So I am a fan of Wordle. It's world.
World.
And then L-E.
Oh, I see what they did.
It's hard.
World.
Yeah. So that one is a blast. It gives you like a silhouette of a country and you kind of try to guess what it is. And then if you don't get it right, it tells you like a percentage of like how close you are. And then it tells you like a direction that you would need to move on the map to find the right one.
Okay.
So, okay, you need to go this way so many, I think it's kilometers. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I know it's that way. So, okay. And so there's that.
How long does it take to get there? That's what we need to know.
Right. Like, are there any like landmarks that I should be looking for? Because I'm that person.
Where's the closest McDonald's?
Exactly.
That's what we need to know.
That part. So I do really like that one. It's a good time. And then there's cross Wordle, which is like it gives you a word at the bottom and you have to work your way to that word. So it'll have like the lines above it will be blank. You have to fill in a word that will fall under, like say the first line has one green. You have to put in a word that will give you one green that's in the right spot in the final word. It's interesting. It took me a minute to figure it out. So you have to follow the rules to make sure that the process is going to get you to that word. Does that make sense?
I'm going to have to play it.
Yes, you have to look at it and you have to fill in words that fit, that'll follow along with the colors all the way to the process to get to that final word. And that's one I enjoy because it's just hard enough because I don't know how you do Wordle. I don't understand.
Wordle.
There you go. I don't know how y'all play that game. I'm just like, nope. I tried it one time and I was like, this is too much.
It is hard.
And then for those of us who are silly and want to laugh at stuff, there's a version called Loodle, which is like the word lewd, L-E. And it is just silly, nonsensical, not safe for work kind of words. And you will laugh so hard. Oh my gosh. Some of them are just like, okay, I don't know what that word is. Like you'd have to look it up on like some urban dictionary or something, but some of them are just hysterical. I'm like, oh, y'all,
fantastic.
There's too much time on our hands.
Whoever's putting that together is hilarious.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. So we took it to socials and we asked people online, like, what do y'all do? Like kind of the same conversation Ashley and I are having. Like we wanted to ask them, what do you do? What games are you playing?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So I asked on Facebook and Ashley and I are just kind of going to go back and forth about like what some of the answers we got there. So Megan, one of our readers, says she plays daily. She has the same starter word and then a secondary word. If the first happens to not have much between the two, she gets all 5 vowels and several consonants. She does like to play Wordle. And the other day she just started playing a game called Waffle. So I'm not sure what that is. And she also plays a game called Birdle, Byrdle, which is like Wordle, but it's related to choral music. So, there's something for everybody there.
Something for everyone.
You have anything to share?
So, Elizabeth, I shared with our Houston Moms contributors and asked them how they do it. And most of us play first thing in the morning with our cups of coffee, that's kind of seems to be the trend. Elizabeth, our editor, she said that she does it with her coffee. She also plays Nerdle, which is like Wordle with numbers. And I thought that I had never heard of that one. And I wanted to note that today is a rough day for Elizabeth because she lost for the first time this morning, breaking her 90-day streak. So everyone, just feel Elizabeth in your hearts today.
You should send her a bouquet of flowers.
Right? Oh my gosh. Poor thing.
Another reader named Courtney says that she plays Wordle and Quirtle every day. And she also plays with her 9-year-old after school. And it's a staple in their house. And she likes to play words with lots of consonants. And her husband likes to start with lots of vowels like audio. And I will say, me and my 9-year-old little girl, I like to play with her sometimes. So I'll have her come sit next to me and we'll do it together. And it's been fun because she does a lot in her school. They do a lot of like what they call word study, where they study like prefixes and suffixes. And so, I'll be like, now if this ends with a ED, like what could this be? So we do a lot of that together. It's a good little learning thing.
Yeah. Liz one of our another contributor of ours. So she plays Wordle, but she does it in Spanish. There's a Spanish version.
Ooh.
And so she does that to kind of jumpstart her brain, continue learning Spanish, and keeping it fresh in her mind. And she says that her starter word is always tango. And so I did not know there was a Spanish version. So now I kind of want to, yeah, that's awesome. And then Rebecca, another contributor, she says that her go-to word is always steam. And I thought that's a good one.
Word.
Yeah.
Because you get the S and
solid.
the T. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. The only other comment I have here is Erin says that the 3 starter words she uses regularly are heart, reach, and arise. And I like arise. I think that's a great one.
That is a good one. Yeah, so everyone has kind of their own way to go about it. And I'm loving that everyone has like their little system and their routine.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so fun.
It's a great game.
Yes.
Well, that's an awesome conversation on Wordle.
Yay.
And obviously we have all of our nerdy, passionate feelings about it. So comment on our posts here. If you've seen us post about this episode on socials, we would love to hear your starter words. So please tell us.
Absolutely. So we're going to dig right into our cream and sugar for this week. This is where we kind of recommend something around the Houston area that we are loving right now. Jenny, what is your cream and sugar for us?
Yeah. Okay. So I went on a field trip with my daughter to a place I had never been before. And I was like, this is incredible. And I want to come back by myself when I'm not surrounded by a billion 4th graders.
Yeah.
It was in Richmond. It's in Fort Bend County, and it is the Fort Bend Museum, the Fort Bend History Museum.
Okay.
And man, if you're at all interested in Texas history, this was incredible. Yeah. The property, multiple places on the property were built in the 1800s. There's a cabin there built in 1850. It has been, there was a Jane Long, who they call the mother of Texas. Jane Long lived in this property. And then it has been donated by the family to like the historical society there. But then they have turned it into this very beautiful museum, and there's beautiful, like tons of documents and cool things. And you walk through, and they've just really done a beautiful job upkeeping it. And then you go through this beautiful home, and they have it set up like the home would have been set up at the time.
Yeah.
And then the kids on their field trip, they got to do chores, like they got to churn butter and wash clothes like on a washboard, and bring water up from a well, and it was just really cute.
Cool.
That was really cute. But it was just the property was gorgeous. I mean, just beautiful. And then secondly, I just really enjoyed I learned a lot there. Yeah. I learned one thing that I did not know, that, one of the, Houston has so many suburbs and little towns. One of the suburbs out on the west side of town is Fulshear, Texas, Fulshear. That was named for a man named Churchill Fulshear.
That's a name.
Yes, Churchill was his first name, and he was a horseman. Like he trained horses and raced horses.
Yeah. And
the Kentucky Derby is held at a place in Kentucky called Churchill Downs.
Oh yeah,
that's for him, Churchill Fulshear. Like, so our Fulshear, Texas, is named for Churchill. The guy Churchill Downs is named after our guy of Churchill, Fulshear, Texas, which I was like, what?
That's cool.
Our little Fulshear, Texas, which isn't so little anymore. But
right.
Anyway, so it was just, there's a lot to learn, and so it's a really great place to go visit. It's a beautiful piece of property. So you should go to the Fort Bend History Museum. How about you? What are you looking at right now? What's your
so
sugar?
Yeah, so the weather's been really nice lately, and unfortunately, Typhoon Texas isn't open just yet. But I ended up going to Lago Mar. Now, first of all, I kept calling it Mar-a-Lago.
Oh no,
that's not it.
That's not in Houston.
Not at all. Not at all. I was like, yeah, we're gonna go to Mar-a-Lago. No, we're not. Okay, so Lago Mar. It's in South Texas. It's like a neighborhood, but it's also this really cool man-made lagoon and beach. And there's sand. It looks like a beach, and beautiful water, and there's all kinds of cool activities you can do. You can do like kayaks, you can do there's like these water bike kind of things that you can like pedal along on the water. There's food trucks there. It was a blast, fun for the whole family. And it's between $20 and $30 depending on what day you go to get in. And but it's a blast. And so there's certain areas that are only for residents, which is fine, but like the big majority of it is open for everybody, and you just go and spend the day.
Was it crowded? Like, did you feel like it was overly crowded, or was it? Okay?
It was crowded when I went. I went on this past Sunday. It was crowded, and like they were out of chairs, but it was fine. You set out a towel and you sit on the sand, and it was a blast.
Nice.
So yeah, and all kinds of cool food trucks, and just a really nice facility. So I definitely recommend going and checking that out. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what is your, we always pick a house blend, which is a post from our website, from our Houston Moms contributors, something that we really loved, that we wanted to share with our readers in case you didn't get a chance to read it yet. Mm-hmm. So what is something you loved on our website this week, Ashley?
So we have a post called Fun for the Whole Family in Clear Lake and Bay Area, Houston. And I just loved skimming through this, just kind of seeing what's available. You kind of forget to branch out of your local area, and Houston is so big. There are so many areas to go check out, so many corners of this city that you can just venture into. So I loved just having in my back pocket options and places to go check out in that area. So yeah, definitely check that one out.
So many of us like stay in our little bubbles and we don't ever venture out, and it's just a good reminder of all the things that we can go do in other places. So
yeah. What about yours?
Mine is Christy wrote something called it's time for a colonoscopy, which I thought was very clever.
So perfect.
But she kind of did a walkthrough of like what it's like to get one, a colonoscopy, and when it's time, and what the, why it's important to get one, but then also just like the process and like what to expect and what, does it hurt, and what, kind of the prep and the after, all of that.
Yeah.
I have, in my family, my dad's, sister, when she was 45, was diagnosed with colon rectal cancer. Wow. And she passed away a few years later. And here I am in my late 30s and just starting to think like, it's probably just being that's in my family. I probably should start paying attention to that, and just thinking a lot about her, my dad's sister, my Aunt Donna Jo, lately, and just thinking I should probably start doing that. And it's funny because actually after we shared that on our socials, I got a message just this morning from someone who messaged saying, thank you for spreading awareness and reminders for colonoscopies. We are seeing an increasing number of under 50-year-olds with colon cancer. I'm a PA at MD Anderson, and I see this all the time.
Wow.
And so I've been messaging back and forth with her. So this is just a reader that just was like, thank you for posting about this. So
that's great information. It's something you don't often think about. A lot of people overlook these kinds of screenings that we all need to do. And I should mention Sean Watson, our contributor, is the one who wrote the guide about Clear Lake in the Bay Area. So shout out, Sean. Thank you for that.
Well, before we wrap up, as we say goodbye, I wanted to share a little fun fact, our see you later caffeinator fact as we head out. Since we were talking so much about puzzles and Wordle and everything, I wanted to share our fun fact of the day is about the New York Times crossword puzzle, actually, and kind of how that came to be kind of like a staple in our everyday lives. So many people play that every day. And this is that although crosswords as a puzzle became popular in the early 1920s, the New York Times, which initially regarded crosswords as frivolous, calling them a primitive form of mental exercise, did not begin to run a crossword until 1942 in its Sunday edition. The first puzzle ran on Sunday, February 15th, 1942. The motivating impulse for the Times to finally run a puzzle appears to have been because of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. In a memo dated December 18th, 1941, an editor conceded that the puzzle deserved space in the paper, considering what was happening elsewhere in the world, and said that readers might need something to occupy themselves during blackouts.
Oh.
So they were giving everybody something to do in case they were bored during a blackout. Which I thought was really interesting. And now it's something we do every day. So
yeah.
Anyways.
Love it. Oh, wow. Thanks for joining the Cold Coffee Club. It's been fun chatting about all things Wordle.
Yes. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Cold Coffee Club, brought to you by Houston Moms. We wish you a fabulous week with your families and look forward to sharing many more cups of cold coffee with you.